Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video. Welcome back. If this is your first time watching a video on my channel, I'm Chris, I'm from Michigan, and I'm an expat living in Germany. On this channel, I talk about everything China and everything Germany. Guys, I'm just blown away by the support. We have 550 subscribers on YouTube in this community, this small little humble community. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited today. I'm so sorry. But thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So about 2 weeks ago, I made a video that talked about the 7 things that America should learn from Germany. Now, I didn't want to do this video because I'm not one to come across as bashing any country, particularly my host country. I love Germany. I love living here. It's been amazing so far. But I received a request from someone in the comments basically saying, hey, it would be good if you could make a video talking about 7 things that Germany could learn from the United States. So again, I am not bashing Germany. I'm just gonna say the 7 things that I would hope to see in Germany in the future in terms of coming from my country and living it and yeah, so let's get started. This has to be number 1, customer service. In the United States, we have this philosophy that the customer is king or the customer is queen. In Germany, that is not the case, okay? You are the king until you start making random, crazy, absurd requests, and then you will be abdicated, okay? That's how it works in this country. Even in places where you don't necessarily have to tip, the service industry is fueling the US's economy. So we really do care about service. We really do care about treating people like they're the top notch or whatever. There's a lot of free things in the United States when it comes to customer service. You have free refills, for example. You have free water, you have free napkins. I mean, everything is free. Not to say that in Germany napkins aren't free, but still everything, there's a lot of stuff that's free in the United States when it comes to service. I used to work at a restaurant called Red Lobster. I used to be a server, and I used to hate going into work every day sometimes because it's just my mood sucks. But my manager would tell me, you take that bad attitude and you hang it up with your coat when you walk in the door. It's about professionalism. It doesn't hurt to be polite to people. Coming into this restaurant, it's not their fault that you're having a bad day. And in Germany, I feel that if waiters are having a bad day, you feel it, you get it. So I feel there's not a boundary between me having a horrible day or me hating my job and you coming in as a customer and making all these absurd, unnecessary requests and you're ruining my day and I'm just gonna give it to you. So coming from my part of the country, I would say the customer service is it could have a little bit of sugar, okay, just a little bit, not all the time. You don't have to kiss my butt, but at the same time, it's not hard to be friendly. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice. I recall one time, I asked for free water and I literally said, hey, I brought a bottle, where can I go to get, water? I don't want to have to pay €4 to get water. And she was like, you can go in the bathroom and get your free water out of the faucet. Okay. And I went into the bathroom and I gave my, Leitungswasser is what we call it in Germany. Anyway, I would hope to see just politer customer service in Germany and take the time to be nice. You don't have to smile all the time. And when I do get good customer service in Germany, I always leave big tips. In America, as a tipping culture, I leave €5. But if I ever get someone who's really, really nice, because I know in Germany you don't have to be nice. It's not mandated you have to be nice. So when people are nice, I usually leave a lot of tips. So yeah. I'm throwing so much shade right now. Please forgive me, okay? Now, when I say friendlier human interaction, I'm focusing specifically on inconveniencing people. So let's just say in Germany, I'm walking down the street, or I'm walking with a friend. There's 2 of us walking down the street. And for some reason, we are blocking the way a little bit, and there's someone coming behind us with their bike, right? The right thing to do is to get over. Now, the person coming next to us is going to be in the States, he would say, thank you. And we would probably say, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for inconvenience you. Let me get out of the way. And they'll say, oh, no, you're okay. Thank you. It's okay. Have a good day, right? In Germany, it's let me get over. The person goes by and looks back. Or doesn't look at you at all, or doesn't acknowledge you. I'm why don't people say thank you? Why aren't people saying excuse me or something? And I was told, you're in the way. You're supposed to move. Why should I thank you for that? That's what you should do. You should get out of the way. Like, you're in the way, you're blocking it. Yeah, but like, it's just, like, it's communicating with someone. It's like acknowledging that they don't have to move. And because someone did something nice, like, you would want to say thank you. You would want to acknowledge the fact that someone moved out of the way. Like, they used human energy to make life easier for you, even if they were originally in the wrong spot to begin with. And in the States, for example, when you have like a pedestrian crossing, they have the right of way. But the fact that you're stopping and letting them cross the road, people will say, oh, thank you so much. Like, thank you for letting me cross the street. In Germany, like, sometimes people just walk right across the street. They don't say thank you. It's like you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to let me cross the street. You're not getting any type of recognition from that. You did what you're supposed to do. You're not going to get thanked. I asked a few friends, like, why people don't say thank you? And they say, well, that's, you have a choice in Germany. In Germany, you have a choice to say thank you. Whereas in America, it's forced. I understand that logic. I really do understand that logic. It is forced. I will admit that it is forced, but it's not difficult to say thank you or to acknowledge or to like be grateful when someone opens the door for you or do this, that, the other. I mean, yeah. So someone from Michigan would be really offended. I feel like in Germany, Germans look at it long term. So it's like, just because we had an interaction, like we had a coffee and we had a pleasant conversation, it doesn't mean that I want to be your friend, or doesn't mean that like something's going to come out of that. And I think for someone who's coming to Germany, it's really difficult to make friends because it's awkward when you approach people. It's like, how is it that, like, I know that in Germany, spontaneity is okay with people that they know in a closed circle. And I know this is particular to Munich. But it's like, gosh, like, how is it that, like, I talk to you? How is it that I ask you to go out? If I want to call you, like, how do I call you or whatever? You know what I mean? Pick up the phone randomly. I just feel like spontaneity has a different definition here in Germany. And so basically what I'm trying to say is I hope that one day, in my experience here, I could see like people just doing things just to do it, or just like to try it out, like take a risk. And I feel like when it comes to human interaction, there's like lack of spontaneity, whereas like really having a purpose for doing things. So when you move to Germany, you'll realize that if you're renting, usually the kitchen is not installed. I mean, it's not always the case, but like I noticed that when you rent a place in Germany, particularly here in Munich, I can't speak for the whole country, but in Munich, when you rent an apartment, sometimes the kitchen doesn't come. You have to also buy a kitchen. And then it's funny because when you move from the place, you're entitled to take the kitchen with you. It's so funny. I mean, in the States, I feel like when you rent a place, there's furniture usually, there's a lot of stuff already in the house that you have. It's like, it's ready for you to move in. Like you're paying, and a lot of people, they pay higher rent because of the fact that they already have furniture in the house. Whereas in Germany, just because you're renting something doesn't mean that you have like full access to everything. So you need to buy a kitchen sometimes, you need to buy furniture. And honestly, it kind of goes back to that thing about like owning versus buying. I feel like, well, if you're moving into a place where you're renting and you also have to buy a kitchen, like why not just buy the house? You know what I mean? But then again, I know that in Germany, people really appreciate having the flexibility to just say, okay, I'm not ready to be 100% committed to this area or this job, so I'm going to rent, I'm going to buy a kitchen. So yeah, it's very interesting. Renting in the United States versus Germany is different. And what I would hope to see is like just a little bit more like investment from German companies when it comes to renting, like, and putting less of the responsibility on the consumers to like decorate something or to like dope it out, especially when they're actually not buying it. Maybe people will disagree with that. What do you guys think? Do you agree with this, people from Germany? Do you think that, people who are renting, they should have more stuff come with, the apartment that they're renting, or is that just your responsibility and you should take care of it? I think many Americans coming to Germany would probably be shocked to know that they're renting a place and a kitchen is not installed. So know that, Americans coming to Germany, If you rent something, always look and see if the kitchen is included, because you're gonna have to come out of your pocket for more money to actually be able to cook in the place that you're living in if you didn't do your research beforehand. So please remember that not all kitchens come with places that you rent. Okay, and I hate to say this, and you know what? I applaud Germany for being very progressive in terms of really respecting the environment that they live in. Germans really care about global warming and, things like that. So this is not conducive to protecting the German way of life in terms of like the world. But Germany is hot. It's hot in the summer, okay? We need you to get some air conditioning. I worked in a law firm here in Munich, and I'm telling you, when the weather gets really hot, what the Germans do, especially even in the winter, they open the window. They like the fresh air to come in, right? They like the fresh air to come in to really like clean out the bad air in the winter. And I adopted that. But in the summer, it's hot. It's so hot. There's a good reasoning behind it why like there's no air conditioning. It's protecting the environment. We should take like the baggage. We should struggle, obviously, for the benefit of the world. But at the same time, it's hot as hell in the summer, and there's no way to cool down unless you like take a cold shower or you open your window. Even in the summer, when you go to a hotel, for example, in a villa, no, you just open your window. So Americans coming to Germany, you must prepare for that. In Germany, I would hope that I know there's good reasoning behind not having, air conditioning, but can we find a little bit of a balance? You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Maybe you can regulate how much people can use air conditioning, but it's hot as hell in this country during the summer, okay? Bureaucracy in Germany. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with bureaucracy in Germany. I do believe that in the 21st century, we can all be exposed to becoming a target. Now, when I say target, I am focusing directly on cyber theft. I feel like Germany's complex bureaucracy protects consumers. So for example, in a past video I made, I talked about moving to Germany, you have to get registered. Things as simple as getting a cell phone number in Germany. If you apply online, they send you a paper to your house, which you have to take to the post office to be verified. And then they send it back to the company for you, and you wait another week, and then they notify you that you have a phone number. When you want to get a bank account in Germany, you apply, you personally go to the bank, and you say, hey, I want a bank account. Then they send you something to sign in the mail to say, okay, hey, just letting you know, we're gonna send you a paper, we're gonna send you your card. And you sign that and you send it back to them. Then they send you your card a week later. It's like, okay, you got the card now. All right? In a week's time, we're gonna send you your password. And so okay, so let me wait another week. And then it comes. It's just very, 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 very structured, very, very, very processed. When it comes to identity theft, it's very difficult for people to take things from you when bureaucratic processes are set up to where it's difficult for people to snatch things from you. And in Germany, they won't send you anything to your house if your name isn't on the address, right? It's different in the United States. Sometimes you get things sent to houses that don't necessarily belong to you. In Germany, that is unacceptable. If you get something in the mail, your name has to be there or else they won't give it to you, right? And so that is a way to be secure. And then on top of that, you have the bureaucratic levels, right? To make sure you're actually the person, that you're actually getting the product, which is cool. But at the same time, it just really delays things. I feel in terms of effectiveness, in terms of really, okay, I need this. If you go to the States, anybody can open a bank account in a day's time, and they'll send you, and sometimes you'll get your bank card the day of. It's very effective. Their customer service here, we need to get this card into your hand, yada, yada, yada. Whereas Germany, it's What I think Germany can learn from the States is being more direct. The bureaucracy is good, but let's have a more effective, direct way of being bureaucratic. Whereas it's more catering to the needs of the consumer. Whereas if someone needs something immediately, they can have a choice as to, okay, we can take this long process of bureaucratic, whatever, so that we can make sure that we protect our identity. But if you if you don't want to have that, if you really need something, for example, if you have no community, if you have nobody here and you're just moving to this place, moving to Germany, it really does make establishing yourself difficult when you're stressed about finding a house, when you're stressed about doing that, you're stressed about making friends, you're stressed about the language barrier, and then you have to wait a week or two to get your phone number or a week or two to get your bank account information. It just makes things really difficult. Germans can learn from like the United States in terms of being less bureaucratic, or if we need to be bureaucratic, let's be more effective at our bureaucracy. Let's make it more like catering to our consumers to make their lives easier, especially those who belong to the expat community. Because more people are coming to Germany. It's easier to come to Germany than it is to move to France, right? So I think the bureaucracy should match that openness, if you will. And I speak directly to living in Germany as someone who's American. In the United States, it is true that anybody can become the president, right? Look at Donald Trump. It's beautiful, but it's also problematic. It can be problematic. In Germany, there is no way you can become Angela Merkel if you don't have the Ausbildung, if you don't have the Weiterbildung. When it comes to applying to jobs, they expect your undergrad to be in history, if you studied history, your master's to be in history, your internship to be in history, your Weiterbildung to be in history. There's little room for growth when you go to apply to jobs. They really want you to be set in where you are. Whereas in the States, for example, I studied languages, studied French and Chinese, I studied international relations, I taught English, I worked at a law firm, I've worked at an academy, I've done this, like I've worked at an airline, place and stuff like that. So in America, would be like, hey, oh my goodness, you're like really diverse, like, you're well-rounded. Like we think about it in terms of situational base. We say, this candidate may not have the credential that we need, but he obviously shows flexibility. So we see potential in ambiguity, whereas in Germany, they see threats. They think you're unstable. I've been told this, like I've gone directly to like coaching in terms of how to find a job here in Germany, and people say, Chris, your CV is ridiculous. Like Germans don't understand it. This is not the United States. You're too, like if you didn't study, if you don't have any experience in marketing, you can't be in marketing. Or for example, if you worked as a paralegal or a law assistant for 3 years, you are a paralegal and law assistant. And you can't be a manager unless you're certified in being a manager. But that being certified and being a manager doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna learn the people skills that you need to be able to manage people. And I think that's where I would like to see more flexibility in Germany. I want Germany to be able to understand like ambiguity as like a blessing and in disguise and potential. Because you really never know like what people are good at unless you give them the chance to prove you wrong. And someone who is like not an engineer, someone who is a language like liberal arts student, it's really difficult for me to like find really, really concrete jobs here that I want to do that are not necessarily related to what I studied in, but like I kind of inadvertently like have the skills, but it's not a clear structure, right? And I've gone to people to talk about CVs. My CV looks okay. I've gone and getting professional help, and they just say that you don't have the correct thing. Like you didn't stick to that. And I think this is also applicable to Germany's education system. Very early in German's education, kids know exactly what they're gonna do. If you're gonna do something that's like, if you're gonna be a welder, they really know, okay, you're gonna go here, you're gonna get this training, you're gonna do that, this, that, the other. Whereas in the States, it's really like you just let your feelings take you to where you need to go. Like, this is a land of opportunity, this is a land of second chances. Whereas in Germany, I don't necessarily think like, it's as open. All right, guys, those are the things that I think that Germany could learn from the United States. I hope I haven't offended anyone, and if you are offended, I want to apologize in advance. Like I said, I must reiterate, I really love living in Germany. I think there's a lot of things that America can learn from Germany, and I also think there's a lot of things that Germany can learn from America. But coming from my perspective, someone who is new to Germany, who didn't have any understanding of German, no language, nothing, just quit my job in China and moved directly to Germany. These are the things that like impacted me the most and I'm still getting over. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your comments below, and thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I post videos like this every single week. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.